Well, good morning, good day, and good afternoon. It's the Coach Ty A here with you once again. I'm sitting next to my beautiful and loving, the best attorney I know, the wife unit, Nicole.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us again.
So Nicole was hitting me up. She wanted to do another video because she was, in her research, she was finding some information that she felt that all of you would find extremely interesting. And when she hit me with it, I was like, you know what? That's dope. We need to tell the people about this. And then it really got to tickling me and really got to get into my interest and my goat because I recognized that what we're going to talk to you about is really impacting a lot of athletes.
Yes.
So that kind of got under my skin a little bit. As you recall, last time we talked to you about it's going to take more than college. Mm-hmm. Once again, we are definitely proponents of a college education. We're proponents of going and seeking a college degree. And in that, though, what we're finding is a lot of the different hurdles and obstacles that they're putting in the way that's making it harder for people to actually attain a college degree that's worth something.
Right.
And that's what we're going to kind of talk to you about today. We're going to talk to you about these remedial college classes.
Yes.
Absolutely disgusting. Mm-hmm. Absolutely disgusting. So what are these remedial college classes,
Okay.
Nicole?
So the remedial classes are also called developmental classes. And students who graduate high school, they have a high school diploma. Sometimes when they go into junior college, if they haven't taken the SAT or the ACT, they have to take a placement test. And the placement test will assign them to a remedial or what is called a developmental course. And what that actually is, it is a high school and junior high school level course to help the kids be able to participate in the college level curriculum. And the remedial developmental courses, they don't count towards college credit. So if you are at a junior college, you can't use that to transfer to a four-year college. And if you are at a four-year college, you can't use that towards your degree. So community colleges have these developmental remedial classes, and four-year public universities also have the remedial developmental courses.
Some of you, if you're a football fan like me, you'll remember the movie The Program. And in the movie The Program, the young talented running back, when he came into college, they sat down with him, and he didn't have the academic requirements coming out of high school to qualify for all the regular classes. And he ended up having to take, and you remember that scene if you go back and look at it, 3 remedial classes that would qualify to keep him eligible to play, but would not count towards his college degree. And he did that because he came into college not ready.
Right.
He wasn't ready. And that's what we're seeing a whole lot happen, not just to athletes, but just to people and children who are coming from schools where the academic curriculums are not equal, or not the same, or not as rigorous as their peers coming from different schools.
Right.
So they're showing up to college not ready to actually take classes towards a college degree. So Nicole, I would assume, but we know this is wrong, I would assume though, because they're remedial and they're not counting towards college credits, they should be free, right?
No, they are not free. The college remedial developmental courses actually cost, and many students have to use loans. So they're using their grants and their loans to fund these classes. And the remedial classes tend to be in reading, writing, and math. So, those are your base classes that you should be, equipped, if you believe you have a high school diploma, that you should be equipped to go into college at the beginning stage of college into. But in actuality, $7 billion a year is spent by students over the United States in the remedial developmental classes.
$7 billion.
Yes.
How are we spending $7 billion on college classes to reteach what's supposed to be happening in high school?
Right.
Because like Nicole just mentioned, these are the basics, the fundamental things, the ability to read, write, basic communication skills, and the ability to do a higher level of math. And when it comes down to it, when you see with some of these remedial courses, it's not even that much of a higher level of math.
No.
It's really not.
No. And 4 in 10 college students end up in the developmental math and English.
4 in 10. That's 40%.
Right.
40% are taking some type of one of those remedial classes, if not both or 3, like I mentioned with the young man in the movie from The Program.
Right. And the data shows that only 28% of community college students who take a developmental education course earn a degree within 8 years.
Within 8 years.
Right.
28%.
Only 28%.
Only 28%.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have 40% of students coming in taking these remedial classes, only 28% of those are actually going to achieve a degree in 8 years. But what's happening during those 8 years? Loans are being taken out. Grants are being applied for. Debt is being accumulated in the pursuit of a degree, probably in a field that's not going to even allow you to pay off all these student loans that it took you 8 years to get, and only 28% of them are doing that. So that's what? 72% of people who are in these remedial courses are going to college 8 years and never even achieving a degree.
Right.
But yet they're carrying all of that debt with them.
Right.
This is a problem.
And the numbers also say that as more people are going to college, the developmental classes have grown. So, yes, you have more people going to college now, but they're also going in this entering college at a place where they're not prepared. And the other thing about these developmental classes is a lot of times if you go to college and maybe you want to take a science class, well, a prerequisite for that science class would be the math, but you can't get to that math until, if you're in remedial, you can't get to that math until you take the remedial courses. So, pretty much you're just in a holding pattern where you're either taking classes that, you can't use for anything, or you're not taking enough units to maintain financial aid or maintain full-time status.
So imagine that. So as our high schools are failing to prepare our children for college, colleges are profiting off of offering classes to make up for and cover the failures of the high school. This is why we talk to our parents and talk to you about the importance of the role that you play in your child's education. You cannot leave it up to the schools, whether it's the high school or even the college.
Right.
You have to, if you're not involved yourself, you need to make sure you prepare your child to be able to properly advocate and have a plan. Because it's not in these college counselors' best interest to speed a kid through college, because they want somebody to continue coming and paying, taking out loans, paying tuition. For a lot of the public universities, their public funding is based off of the numbers of enrolled people.
Right.
So they want people to remain in the system.
Right. And in case someone's thinking that this is mostly about junior college, 40% of students at a 4-year public college are also taking at least one developmental remedial course.
And you would think, it sounds on the surface, it sounds like a good thing, right? We want to offer some support and some help and give everybody a chance to get that college experience and that college degree. But when you look at the numbers and how it's panning out, is it really in the best interest? I'm not saying that those 28% who do finally go on to achieve it don't deserve the opportunity, but what can we do to better prepare them to not have to take that path? Why does it have to take us going into that much debt for that many years to achieve a rather basic degree? Because as we talked about in our previous segment, more than college, a bachelor's degree is becoming the new high school diploma. So if it's taking you 8 years to get a bachelor's degree and you're going into that much debt to achieve it, how are you ever going to get above? How are you ever going to come out of that debt and actually start working towards your goals? Start working towards your dreams and not just working to work.
Right, because now you've delayed your career by 8 years and your employment opportunities. And by that time, things change. The job situation changes, technology changes. So you might actually have a degree and then have to go immediately back.
Go back into training.
That degree, yeah.
So what can you do? What part of this do you play? Why are we telling you this? Not just to alarm you, but we want to tell you some of the things that you can do.
First of all, in California, some states are trying to work on this developmental remedial programming. However, they're doing it by California. Junior colleges are actually trying to eliminate the remedial developmental courses and put the students who are unprepared in the college level courses and give them tutors or have them do extra study hours. But again, that takes us back to the concerns about maintaining your your financial aid, maintain your grant money, then having to extend the time you're in college. So, in the future, you might have kids who are not put in developmental remedial courses, but that doesn't mean they're prepared for college. So that's why it's important that, you still plan, because the laws are changing, the policies are changing to remove it and pretend like the need isn't there.
And it sounds like when you look at all that, this was a reaction kind of thing that the colleges did, and they went back to what we go against. And they were trying to prepare the path for all the children. And that's what you can't do. There's not going to be any success if you try to prepare paths for every child, because we don't know what path every child will take. We have to do our part, and as parents, you have to make sure that your child is prepared for any path. This comes back down to you making sure that your child is ready and goes into college with a plan. Not just goes into college to find themselves, not just goes into college and just relies on the guidance counselors or their support friends around them to guide them through. They have to have a plan, and the plan has to start early enough so that they can be prepared to execute the plan upon arrival. And that starts at the high school, at the middle school level, making sure, because as Nicole said, these remedial classes are really just high school level stuff.
And junior high.
And junior high stuff that somehow we have a high number of kids finishing high school
getting diplomas
and not having these skills.
And sadly, some children leave school with high GPAs, with 4.0s out of 5s, and they still need to be in remedial classes because the school they attended did not have the rigor necessary for them to be college ready.
And that's what we have to make sure we are delivering that rigor. If the school doesn't have it, this is where us as parents, we have to complement what the school is doing or supplement what the school is doing, depending on how much rigor is lacking. Because the truth of the matter is, in order to achieve a college degree that's going to actually put your child and put you, even if maybe this is for some adults out there that are still going through this, a college degree that is going to put you in a situation to be successful, more successful in life, is going to take hard work. It's not going to be the easy classes. It's not going to be the no-show classes. It's not going to be the classes without the lab. Those are the classes that you're going to have to be prepared for. Those are the classes that you're going to have to take if you want to put yourself in a position to be successful across every boundary of life.
In order to be competitive, you have to be prepared and trained. And some of the ideas we had were like, if you have a child in school and they are not writing research papers, or if they are given only 2-page assignments to have to write, well then, as a parent, have them write at least 10 pages. Give them research projects at least 3 or 4 times a year, and have them write, and you can have them practice Latin and Greek
roots and suffixes and prefixes, all these things to help build up their language so that they can go in and they aren't terrified by the language in the books that they're now forced to read. Maybe they didn't have to read. Encourage your children to read books that are a little bit more challenging than that's being handed out by the school. The school might have a curriculum that has them read books that aren't at a high enough level to develop the vocabulary. Have them read more. A lot of times, high schools aren't preparing children to go into college to read the required amount you have to read for the class. If you come in from a high school environment where you had to read maybe 10 pages a week, and now you're taking a college class where you have to read 60 pages a night, that's going to be very shocking for a kid. So it's up to you to make sure that your child is comfortable and prepared to read that amount and digest it. Not just read it, but digest it. These are some of the things that you can do to get your child ready.
And you don't want your kids to enter college unprepared and afraid, because then that might lead them to drop out. And in professions, high-paying professions tend to require a lot of reading and writing. So, the way to become a better writer is to write, and the way to become a better reader is to read. And when you read, that improves your writing. So it works together.
And when it comes to math, you just have to make math a part of life. If it's one thing that I can say that we do with our children, we calculate everything. Everywhere we go, everything that we're doing, we're constantly doing calculations, just so it's never a fear. It's never this daunting, numbers. It's an enjoyment and a respect and an appreciation of what you can do with numbers, how enlightening it can be to see how numbers played a part in everything that we do. So you have to make your child more comfortable. Math has to stop being this taboo thing. Ooh, math is big. Ooh, big bad math. No, math is lovely.
Math is fun.
Math is fun, and you have to instill that in our children, because too many of them are really going to take these math remedial classes because all their life they've been told that I'm just not good at math. Right. We got to eradicate that thought from our minds. So we hit the 15-minute point. This is a topic that we wanted to touch on, relatively briefly. We went a little bit long because it's important to us. We're passionate about it. It's kind of shocking how the college system has turned into this hustle. And like anything else in life, the hustle is going to be there. Right. We have to know how to navigate through the hustle and not be hustle.
And know that the hustle exists.
Know that the hustle exists. It's out there. So when you know it's out there, it's up to you to avoid it. Don't fall prey to it because it's not going to go away. We have to make sure we avoid it. With that, I want to thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Everyone have a blessed day.
All right, take care.